Hello everybody, I'm Richard Gon of Work to Live podcast version. This time, what I'd like to talk about is that Traitors makes a piece of world. So, I think this is true. So I'm going to tell you again. So the title is Traitors makes the piece of world. So I'm not in this time. I'm not thinking of digressing in the track of this story or in the course of this story. So which is why, anyway, which is why I'm going to tell you the conclusion of this episode. The conclusion is when conflicts or fights happen among countries, it is fine that people in the weaker countries betray their countries and rush into the stronger countries so that wars never happen. So I'm going to tell you the conclusion again. So when conflicts or fights happen among countries, it's fine that people in the weaker countries betray their own countries is better words. Their own countries should be a better expression or better words or betray their own countries are better words for explaining this one and rushing to the stronger countries. So that wars never happen. So I'm going to tell you the conclusion. Again, I'm sorry, this is the first time. So when conflicts or fights happen among countries, it is fine that people in the weaker countries betray their own countries and rush into the stronger countries so that wars never happen. So I think this is true. So anyway, so first of all, I'm making this recording or I'm recording this episode in 2022, in which the Slavic war between Russia and Ukraine has still lasted. Or so maybe there's whether the war is going to end or not is really obscure or not absurd. The ending of the Slavic war is obscure or not clear, and nobody knows when the war is going to end. So, which is a situation we are in. So, not maybe for example, if you are listening to this episode 10 years after or 100 years after this recording or this time or this present time, so maybe that war has been ended. Which is why, so I said we are in that situation, but actually so that is not correct. So if you are listening to this episode in the future, you may not be in that situation. So anyway, but I think you have learned about the Slavic war in the class of histories. Anyway, so coming back to the title of this episode, so like that war, it is fine. It is fine. For example, in the case of that Slavic war, so if all the Ukrainian people betrayed their own countries, so there must have been no war, or there would have been no war. So that is because weaker countries or people in the weaker country betray their own government or their own government, and they trash their own allegiances to their government, which is why the war cannot be occurred, if they betray their own countries. And but actually this is not so in terms of English grammar, this is not what I said is not correct, because so now that people so Ukrainian people are striving now that Ukrainian people are striving to protect their own government. So which is why they are in this situation, Ukrainian people are not likely to surrender, and Ukrainian people are not likely to abandon their own countries, and they are not likely to trash or dump their own allegiances to the Ukrainian government. So thinking about such a situation, so I should have said, if they had betrayed their own countries, there would have been no war between Ukraine and Russia, which is a correct expression or correct description in English language. Anyway, that anyway, the war occurred. So this I think this is the case to this is also the case to Russia, which means if almost all the Russian people except for people working for the government surrendered or betrayed their own government. So that Slavic war would not have occurred. And I'm going to tell again, maybe there must be some mistakes. So if Russian people had given up their own countries, or if Russian people trashed or dumped their had trashed or dumped their own allegiances to the Russian government, and the, if Russian people had betrayed their own countries, and they began if Russian people had begun to work in, or behave in favor of Ukraine, in favor of Ukrainian side. So there would have such a Slavic war would not have occurred, which is which is a situation, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So which is why what I have explained, converged is converged into the title. So the title is coming back to the title of this episode. So the title is Traitors makes a piece of world. And the conclusion of this episode is when conflicts or fights happen among countries, it is fine that people in the weaker countries betray their own countries and rush into the stronger countries so that wars never happen. So anyway, Russia and Belarus are sanctioned by many countries. So thinking about such a situation, so I think as time passes, the disadvantages Russia and Belarus, Russia and Belarus side have taken are going to be enlarged. So what I'm telling you is that maybe in the future maybe Russia and Belarus are going to lose, which is my opinion. So because they because those two countries are sanctioned really harshly. So and moreover, so if Russia uses if Russia uses nuclear weapons or some destructive weapons like chemical bioweapons, so maybe other countries having nuclear weapons are going to use nuclear weapons for attacking Russia. So thinking about thinking about the power balance. Thinking about the military powers between Russia and the United States of America, I couldn't pronounce the United States of America well. Or maybe I should have said thinking about the comparison between the military powers or military forces, the military force of Russia and that of the United States of America. So the latter or the later or American force must be stronger or higher or larger than Russian one, which means if so, please not to understand. Please imagine a situation where so America and Russian fight each other in the form of war, one by one. So America is going to beat Russia, which is really expectable, or which is really understandable and comprehensible, and because everybody knows not only the economic power of the United States of America, but also so in terms of economic thinking about economic power, America exceeds Russia, and thinking about for example technologies of information technology or stuff like that, or IT related fields or IT related markets. So United States exceeds Russia. So, and that is because to start with, United States is a country having so GAFA and GAFAM. So whichever you think of. Anyway, thinking not only thinking about based on such situations between those two countries. So it is really comprehensible and expectable that the United States is going to beat Russia. So, but not only that one, but actually, so if when it comes to the war, when it comes to the war between Russia and United States and the United States of America, and Great Britain and France is going to participate in the side of the United States of America, which is also understandable or comprehensible because those three countries, which are America and Great Britain and France, are on the same side. Fighting against economically and politically fighting against China and Russia, and so comparing, even comparing China and Russia, China exceeds Russia, which is what we know, which is a situation we or most of us know. So even based on such comparisons of economies and military powers and other stuff like technologies or how advanced in scientific researches. Thinking about those things. So it is comprehensible that Russia is going to lose the war between Ukraine and Russia. So when it comes, if you point out that it's Ukraine which Russia is fighting against. So let me tell you this. So if war is proceeded between Ukraine and Russia, like Russia attacks Ukraine, so Ukraine is going to lose, which is a how should I say, which is a destiny of that country. Of course, of course. So I understand that Ukrainian people are striving to fight against war or stave off Russian soldiers or Russian military force. But actually, so thinking about thinking about the level of technologies and thinking about the advantageous positions of scientific researches between Ukraine and Russia. Russia exceeds Ukraine, but actually, so United States and other Western advanced European countries are on the same side as Ukraine because those countries are connected with NATO. So thinking about such a fact, so Russia, so I have so I think everybody has already understood that Russia is going to lose in the future in that Slavic war. So let me come back to the but so thinking about such a situation, let me come back to the track of this episode. So the title is "Traitors makes a piece of world." So thinking about such a destination of Russia, I should point out Russia in this phase of this episode. So it's fine that Russian people betrayed the Russian government and join the Western group or join the group of capitalism countries like America, Great Britain, and France. So that the Slavic war is going to end, or just after the provocation, just after the provocation of that Slavic war, Russian people should have given up their own countries, or Russian people should have betrayed their own countries, and Russian people should have all the Russian people should have joined the side of America or Great Britain and France. So which is how even the war even after even the war even the war was provoked or even the war was started, the war would have ended soon after the provocation of that war, which so that war would have lasted for a short period, which is what I'd like you to know this time. So let me tell you. So I have told you the title. Before actually ending this episode, I'd like to tell you the conclusion of this episode. So the conclusion is, when conflicts or war fights happen among countries, it is fine that the people in the weaker countries betray their own countries, and rush into the stronger countries, so that wars never happen. So this is all. All the stuff I wanted to tell you in this episode was that conclusion. So that's it. Thank you very much for your listening. See you.